Are you certain?
As you wish. Who dares defy my will?
All my lifetimes would have brightened your day.
Alright, so you've got the Lucian ban coming out, the Tryndamere ban coming out, the LeBlanc ban coming out, the Jarvan ban, the Lux ban. So it looks like Avalanche is still afraid of the Lux. They are still respecting the Tryndamere. They are still respecting the Lucian.
Absolutely.
And Relegation is too afraid of the Jarvan, the Vladimir, and the possibility of a LeBlanc coming out. There are no support bans. Could we see the Thresh first pick?
An Evelynn first pick, not something I expected.
Not something I expected. Assassins are known to be a little bit weaker right now, but with the hyper aggro play style that this jungler has shown to have, it does fit. It'll be interesting to see if he can make it through the jungle pick that rotation and relegation
Now,
brings up.
a very reactive set of bans from rotation. The Vlad and the Jarvan not being allowed to be picked this game.
Jack's coming out a strong flex between top and jungle. Champion can keep his weight in the top lane against pretty much the best of the best right now. With the Spear of Shojin, Trinity Force, Titanic Hydra, he reaches pretty much insurmountable levels of strength. It's difficult to keep him down even in the early game. And you've got the Warwick coming out. So we know it's not a Jax flex pick. We know it's Jax top. We know it's Warwick jungle. And Warwick against Evelynn, pretty powerful. If it can stay even, which usually it can keep it tracked down. If Evelynn tries to go invisible after getting low from a team fight, Warwick can sniff it out, run her down, not let her regenerate as much as she needs to get those, quick picks and then flexes back in.
And the Malphite likely going top lane against the Jax.
Not what Jax wants to see. Jax wants to see something he can jump onto, stun, and bash down with his W. And possibly his ult later on with the ult passive. Malphite keeps him locked down, can live through the quick trades, and can even respond to them quite easily. Looks like we've got a Swain coming in. That's in Swain, some would say, to pick Swain before seeing the enemy mid laner. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would have preferred to see a more team fight oriented mid laner. Swain is definitely still good, but he can take a while to ramp up. Definitely better in extended fights, but their team has Malphite and Evelynn. I feel like they've got a very strong team fight there. Can get a nice Malphite ult, nice Evelynn ult. Maybe if they had an Orianna or perhaps a Syndra stun, it could have gone into a really good team fight comp.
You don't think that Swain's natural tankiness and ability to follow up on crowd control is going to serve well against a team of Jax and Warwick?
Right.
Champions that, if left alone, will definitely leave a dent in the team comp.
Now, Swain is probably better for your general sense, but I was definitely looking for a team fight comp coming out.
No wombo combos coming through. You got Evelynn gonna keep the aggression going in the jungle. Malphite holding his weight in top lane, and Swain might be up against a Morgana, but can also be up against that Syndra that we saw earlier.
Braum and Alistair being taken out. Thresh still open.
Foolish child.
Lissandra ban. Not
Interesting.
sure how I feel about the Lissandra ban. It can definitely be pretty annoying for Evelynn to have to deal with the Morgana and a Lissandra, though. and a Warwick. Lots of just denial that she's gonna have a hard time getting through.
Looks like Rotation Relegation is preparing for Thresh to be picked either by them, so they ban the Braum and the Alistar, or by the enemy team. They have the Morgana and Sivir already to defend against the hooks, but it could be Thresh support from Rotation with a Morgana mid, so it should be interesting. You see the Tristana coming through, an incredible strong team fighter. Something that can keep its range late game against Jax and Warwick. Doesn't have to get in range of Sivir either. Sivir's going to have to run right into the fray. And you see Yasuo as the last
So
pick,
it's looking like Malphite is the support.
which
Not sure how I feel about that.
Malphite support into Morgana, not what you want to see. The Qs get completely blocked by Black Shield. Doesn't break them. It's going to be extremely difficult to knock up Sivir. And you see the Anivia
Anivia mid coming out.
with Morgana's support. Interesting. So not the supports that we would generally see from these guys. No Thresh coming out. A bit of a letdown. More of a surprise than a letdown. Two big
Definitely
Thresh players not picking
surprising
Thresh.
to see Malphite instead. Malphite into Sivir Morgana does not seem that great.
Uh-oh. We might have another Ignite Flash jungler coming out. Is he going to stick with the strat just like we thought was going to happen last game, or is he going to get that last minute smite switch in? Okay, so you have what was originally looking like a hyper AP-centric team comp coming out of Avalanche, which has evolved into a alright, she did get this smite in. Which has evolved into a healthy mixed damage, wombo combo kind of team comp with Swain for the damage over time, the long-lasting damage that is going to be able to fend off the Jax and the Warwick. How do you think these team fights are going to play out late game?
Now, late game, it's going to be about whether Evelynn is going to be able to get through this Morgana, get on the Sivir, get through the spell shields, and really get the damage out into the executes, into surviving. If she can't do that, they're going to be looking at really having to fall back on just Malphite and Swain ult. Malphite into Yasuo into a Swainar. Without...
You have... Last game you
go.
had rotation and relegation with the all or nothing team comp. Now it looks like Avalanche has them. Evelynn and Swain are the backups. Even Tristana actually survives a little bit better in these super long team fights. Malphite's use is within those first 30 seconds, knocking someone up, slowing someone, and dropping their attack speed. After that, it's very easy to knock him out and move forward, move front to back through these team fights. Yasuo's going to be right there, backing him up. Tristana's going to sit in the back line. Swain's going to be probably in the middle right with Evelynn, looking for those picks, looking for those opportunities to shut them down. However, you've got Dyrude on the Jax, Taranis on the Warwick, kayisdabomb on Morgana. They should have the defensive capabilities to keep off those major threats long enough to turn around these fights. However, if they can't keep the Yasuo and Tristana away from those 40-minute, 6-item, elixired up team fights, they're going to have a problem.
Now, there's a lot of critical pieces to the team fight coming out. Like Swain, you got Yasuo and Malphite, and then the Evelynn. If you catch Yasuo or Malphite, their team fight is going to be a lot worse. And if you land a Morgana bind, it's likely you get a Warwick fear, maybe a Warwick ult, or an Anivia Q, a Jax stun. They just have a lot of lockdown. If they get that one catch, one ability lands, you're likely to see a kill. And then that team fight gets a lot weaker because they need each piece to come together. They need the Malphite into the Yasuo, into the follow-up with Swain and Evelynn. Like, Malphite and Yasuo really kick the team fights off. Really let them go off on the enemy team.
Exactly. Avalanche has an Exodia team comp. They need each one of their pieces to fall together. However, I don't think losing their Tristana holds back their Yasuo from carrying the fights if he gets too strong. So looking at the runes and the setups, you have everything pretty standard. No insane spell book coming out from anyone. No one's running Glacial Augment this time. What a letdown.
Yeah,
No Dark
indeed.
Harvest coming out from Evelynn.
Now, did we even see Glacial really do anything last game? Did he get any items for it? Or
I don't believe so. I think the idea was to punch someone and slow them and keep them in range. Not a bad plan, but not necessarily needed on Nunu.
yeah, I think the strength of Aftershock it's so powerful. Going without it, you really need something that shines in the situation. Otherwise, Aftershock is really just all around good.
Evelynn going for a build that's akin to the Jungle Karthus build, where he's got the Presence of Mind precision tree. And, however, Karthus runs Ravenous Hunter so he can stay alive in the jungle. So Evelynn doesn't necessarily need sustain. And the early level's sure, but the passive keeps you more than healthy later on. Opting for the Ultimate Hunter, which is interesting, seeing as the Fox 96 likes going for the Scuttle Crabs, likes going for the invades, likes going for the quick ganks. Relentless Hunter seems more natural for that gameplay. But Ultimate Hunter, Presence of Mind, all on Evelynn. Ultimates should be up constantly late game, constantly being able to go for picks. Non-stop pressure coming out. Once the charm comes to fruition, could be a free kill every 30 seconds or so late game. How do you feel about this mid matchup? Anivia versus Yasuo.
Now, because it's Yasuo mid, it definitely puts more pressure on Anivia than if it were Swain. If you're looking at Anivia versus Swain mid, you're likely just having a farm lane. But Yasuo can extend onto this Anivia, and if he lands, he's gonna need the knockup to cancel her ult. And if he does that, he can likely just win that lane very hard. But Anivia can also shut him out if he doesn't play it properly.
So you're looking at a high intensity skill matchup going on in the mid lane between Yasuo and Anivia, two champions that facilitate team fights extremely well, can respond to skirmishes, have decent defensive capabilities. The major difference is teleport and ignite. Yasuo is opting in for that extra damage in lane. Anivia is opting in for the extra utility, the possibility of recalling, and being able to use her summoner for more than just I need extra presence in lane.
Yeah, Anivia is definitely going to be wanting to play the lane more reactive. You can't really...
Now you got this top lane matchup of Jax versus Swain. Not too one-sided in either direction. Jax can get enough MR or just enough HP to last through the Swain damage. And Swain can usually keep the Jax at bay.
We likely won't be seeing...
How do you feel about the rest of the map as far as matchups go? Who do you think's got the advantage?
I think bot lane certainly has the advantage with the Morgana Sivir. It's a lot harder for Malphite and Tristana to get anything done. If Morgana gets the good black shields when Malphite hits 6, they're gonna be waiting even longer to get stuff done. A good trade coming out, but Tristana gets the wave in but eats a lot of damage. Ate the bind into the Sivir Q. Not a lot going on the map, just some mild trades in every lane. Oh shit.
Completely at bay.
Oh.
By the CC.
Now Malphite gonna have to flash from that Warwick gank. No other sums coming out.
Looks like Warwick coming out with the early ganks this time rather than Jarvan opting for the level 2 gank top side or the level 2 jungle invade. Interesting, but not anything we haven't seen before.
Not a lot that Evelynn can really do early, besides really hardcore flanks that she has to commit a lot of time to get the charm off. Jack's just looking to get the wave in, and then he might recall, he might rotate, find Eve in the river.
Evelynn's best gank opportunity in this game is looking like it's going to be top lane. Swain lands a decent route, gets Jax pulled back, Jax burns his Q, while Evelynn's coming in for a flank behind him. However, Jax spots the Evelynn in the jungle. It could be a different kind of fight than she's looking for, but it looks like he's just trying to get vision and hold off.
No.
Hold off this Evelynn from taking blue. Or is he? He's going deeper in for the invade.
It looks like they're just gonna back off. Didn't really want to go in with that scuttle vision really showing where they were.
And with no mid priority. Knowing that Anivia is too weak early, too low of mana to take on extremely long extended fights, can't really respond. Anivia trying to wall the Yasuo either off or in, unsure which. And the standard rapid poke from Morgana bot.
Bot lane looking pretty even. We should be seeing 25 CS from both. Yep, from both AD carry. Not that much mana on Morgana, but Tristana and Sivir both looking pretty well off in the mana boys.
Assuming that Morgana has its mana flow, she can be patient.
And the root lands, heal comes out, the ignite. Not enough to finish. Sivir was not quite in the spot she needed to be to really follow up on that bind. Kind of backed off after she sent her Q out and just, I guess, didn't notice that the bind was coming in.
Miscommunications coming in from rotation and relegation. Could be just afraid of a jungle gank. Evelynn can be anywhere and everywhere with that lack of vision in bot lane. There's not too much knowledge on either junglers right now. They both kind of know that they exist, but they're not.
Swain is really trying to put the pressure on this Jax, but not quite able to land his abilities, and because he's got no mana left, he's just gonna have to recall and let him farm that wave under tower.
Swain does have one stack of corrupting. Jax has now drank his last dose.
Swain hitting the base for that
catalyst.
Now Tristana's gotten her back off, but she did lose about an entire wave and a half to turret since that bind nearly killed her. So just a pickaxe, down a bit of CS, and looks like Sivir's just gonna want to shove the wave and recall.
It'll be close if Tristana can keep this wave outside of the tower. Keep Tristana here. And since Malphite's not there to help facilitate the response, Tristana has no choice.
So Sivir getting that BF sword to Tristana's pickaxe. Jax grabbing his Sheen, Warwick's got his Tiamat. Mid lane's looking not that great for Anivia, down about 300 gold.
300 gold is pretty rough and possibly expected with a higher priority champion in mid.
And we've got to pause. Anivia is looking like she's really gonna need to get this TP off soon. Absolutely no mana. Just auto-attacking these minions and hoping to get out of the lane. Definitely really rough before Anivia's first recall without that mana, without the ultimate available. But it could turn around now that she does have that accessible.
Evelynn opting for quite an interesting build path. Going for the Sorcerer's Shoes to get the mobility she's lacking from runes, and that the champion naturally is missing. and opting more for a sapphire crystal rather than the 350 gold alternative of a dark seal. It doesn't build into the jungle item, but the dark seal gives extra gold or extra gold efficiency to the potions, and the ability to get stacks after getting any kill participation at all is extremely valuable for Evelynn. Interesting to see if the more greedy build of getting boots first with no AP is going to pay off.
Sometimes you will leave those raptors and other camps at such a small health value that if you had gotten just a couple stacks on your Dark Seal, it would have gotten you a bit of a faster clear. And Yasuo landing the ult, gonna pop the egg, and looks like
egg is popped. Yasuo's greeting for the kill as much as he can. Warwick's coming in.
The Anivia flash, and not able to get the kill. Warwick coming in, flashing, and finishing off Yasuo.
If Warwick had the speed of a more pointed W, it's interesting to see. I want to see how many points he has in his W right now. Let's see, he's got...
Warwick's got 2 points in his W.
So he's opting for the split max rather than going for the triple point Q for the early game pressure, or going for the strict W max for just the insane amount of movement and attack speed, which gives decent objective control and okay gank presence.
Now Evelyn's looking at this bottom lane. Not quite 6 on the Malphite yet.
Jack's going for the standard build path of W max with the Sheen early, getting those nice chunks when opportunity.
Now when the black shield falls,
Evelynn takes advantage of the situation. Morgana killing Tristana before it can rack. Warwick flying all the way into the lane, burning 2 flashes before they can get a kill. Yasuo is running bot lane. Anivia does have TP to respond. How long will this fight go on? Or will it end here? Evelynn sustaining herself in the jungle again. Mix between the passive, the Hunter's Talisman, and Smite. Keeping Evelynn nice and healthy to respond to this Warwick taking this go to back. Anivia and Yasuo nearby.
Yasuo missing the tornado. But
one wall
still
goes
going
up.
on Anivia. Anivia should have no egg right here. But they're gonna have to back
Misses
off.
the tornado again. 2 possible kills taken away from Yasuo's own hands by missing the W.
He's looking for it again.
Miss.
Ooh. Quite a long-range Q attempt there. Not a lot of security.
Interesting build path from Malphite. He's got 3 points in his Q, no W, picks up some AP. He's ready to rumble. Nothing too crazy coming out from any other player. Everyone kind of building for their standard.
Swain looking for the Jax with his ult, but not able to capitalize. It's typically how this lane has been going. Swain really just beating on Jax, but can't really get anything out of it.
Swain's keeping up the pressure. Jax really has to pay attention to where and when he's walking up.
Now if Swain had opted for a stopwatch and he had his ult right now, this would definitely be a dive, but he's gonna need Eve's help to get it. And it's...
Uh-oh. Oh no! Evelynn not having any AP in the build, opting for the Sapphire Crystal over the Dark Seal,
and
losing her the
Swain
opportunity.
dies too.
Swain greeds for the low HP Jax, but
a very sloppy dive coming out, giving Jax a double kill, and Yasuo
the dive
coming
still
in.
continues.
But the ignite denying Jax any chance.
Not having the sustained DPS that Jax needs to get him low enough for the tower to finish him off. Unfortunate as it is, Jax walks away the bigger man, getting the 2 kills. Opting for... Oh! It was a stinger, and now it's a Merc Tread double dagger. Warwick coming in to finish the job.
Yasuo flashing away.
Enough?
Not quite, falls to Warwick. Now you see there, Yasuo did get a 450 shutdown on Jax and the 160 turret plating, so he's going to be in a pretty good spot with his CS advantage as well.
Yasuo finishes the Static Shiv with the Berserker Greaves. He's got enough attack speed to be one of the more powerful champions on the map. Anivia almost opted for double Catalyst, probably going to try and finish the tier that was started. Has the mana control now. So far, looking pretty good for rotation and relegations. Up 4 kills, up almost 1,000 gold. Has a bot lane, top lane advantage. The fight going on top between Swain and Jax is cut short by a counter-strike.
Now, Swain has been using his ult very liberally. About any time it looks like Jax might engage, he just pops it, and it's leaving him in a couple situations where it looks like I think he would need it more. Getting ganked. Jax is gonna be Jax and Warwick gonna be very strong this game.
The two champions that really can keep the hyper carries of Yasuo and Tristana at bay,
and bind
fending off
landing.
the Evelynn side.
Tristana having to burn both sums. I don't know about the flash from Morgana. Evelynn getting tech, not looking like it's going to be that big of a deal.
Sivir's got the increased movement speed from her W, able to chase down this Evelynn, but not quick enough, as Evelynn does have the extra movement speed from Sword Shoes versus only the regular boots of speed on Sivir.
Sivir's been able to keep up her CS lead over Tristana, but thanks to that Yasuo roam, Anivia's been able to recover from about a 40 deficit. Not quite matching CS yet, but definitely coming back up from where she was.
Looks like a lane swap's coming out. Yasuo's going top lane against the Jax. Could this be better or worse for Jax?
And Jax is probably regretting his Merc treads, having to lane against Yasuo.
The MR helping against the Static Shiv and also keeping Evelynn a bit at bay from wanting to gank that lane, as it's going to be a bit more difficult, more challenging with defensive boots. Evelynn finds a nice little pink ward.
I think Jax would definitely prefer to have the Phage had he known he would be laning against Yasuo.
Conqueror and attack speed go well together. He can't complain too much about being closer to his Trinity Force either. We've got Anivia almost reaching her strength where she can hold off the wave without much interaction. A quick little trade in top lane.
About an even trade, even with the Yasuo shield. He's
Jax
gonna take it,
out.
the Ignite, and he is gone.
Not maxing your E on Jax and not having enough cooldown reduction or the famous Spear of Shojin to keep his E available. Jax gets a little bit too carried away with his recent newfound kills.
Now he likely, if he was still laning in Swain, he would have been able to snowball off of that, but the Yasuo is just too strong. It can't contest it.
A lack of respect to Yasuo's current strength that he obtained from free farming mid and from getting a nice shutdown on Jax earlier leads to Jax's downfall. It'll be interesting to see how the bot lane pressure holds out. Anivia trying to pick up a blue, but it's running away from her. Warwick runs down bot as the blue fully resets.
That's gonna delay Anivia by a lot. She's even gonna have to invest more mana. Not something you want to have to do on that champion.
Anivia's
and the
almost
Malphite into Yasuo ult. And bot lane is just nothing they can do. The Sivir ult, and she's running away with Black Shield. Might be able, can't quite get the Malphite kill. Can't
almost
quite trade one for one.
Anivia missing so much CS mid. Almost down a wave and a half plus a cannon creep. Warwick can't quite decide what he wants to kill, who he wants to hunt. Sivir picking up the farm while there's no clear urgent threat.
This Anivia is not getting any pressure on the turrets or champions because of that interesting blue buff fiasco.
Her Q is maxed, so if Anivia lands it, her stun's definitely going to be felt for longer than just the duration time. The HP missing on all these characters. No one has any MR.
Phazosh getting Swain out of the Jax Counter-Strike. Looks like they're just gonna let that one go.
Do you normally see opting for the sword shoes, or do they normally go for a defensive boot to keep their pressure going?
Usually it's a defensive boot for Swain. Now Sivir barely getting out of the spot lane, kind of doesn't look like she's gonna be able to survive. Evelynn's on the way. They're not gonna let her get away with living with that low health. And Evelynn flashing
onto the Sivir, guaranteeing that no damage could possibly come out onto Yasuo.
now.
A flash wall, the Anivia wall, the change in targets.
Not a great play coming out from Anivia. Definitely should have been a kill on Yasuo, but it's looking like it's gonna get turned on her, and she is going to die. No chance of fighting back with that egg.
Maybe if she had about 8 to 9 more seconds where they decided to give her pity, she could have turned it around.
Maybe.
Interesting to see the Malphite support going for a
No-
big fight coming in, but
No
no
black
death.
shield on Warwick. He can't keep the ult going. It just gets cancelled by Malphite.
A lot of summoners being burned, big cooldowns, ultimates, all of the like. Rotation relegation. Going for anything at this point. It's looking bleak. Jax might make it out. Nope. Too much damage. Yasuo flying in. Could be the cleanup they needed. Sivir comes in with the ult. Everyone's throwing their ultimates, letting themselves be known. Sivir falls short. She has an Infinity Edge, but not the strength she needs to stand up to 5 people.
Relegation just has not respected this Yasuo, and it has led to their absolute destruction. Their lead has been destroyed. Warwick isn't even worth the bounty anymore. They lost everything to his dives, and they weren't able to counter his movements on the map.
Overconfidence led to slight mistakes that I think caused too much stress for Road to Relegations to deal with, are now really trying to get themselves together, figure out where and why they got here. It's looking pretty bleak, but it's not over. Sivir and Anivia can stall waves for a long amount of time. Morgana can respond to pretty much any engage and facilitate a strong response. She almost has Zonias, she has Sword Shoes, so her binds do hurt. The power that Yasuo can bring to a team fight can be mitigated by crowd control, which Relegations is not lacking.
Getting some vision control on the topside river, gonna take out the crab. Yasuo,
How do you feel about this Malphite build?
certainly very interesting. I would have expected, with the lack of gold in the support role, that we would be seeing more tanky. He's really just there to facilitate Yasuo and really get those fights going. I don't think AP is the way to go.
Seems to be working so far. We could see a mini skirmish coming in. Nope, just some harass Yasuo.
Going to
Drinking his corrupting
killed
potions
by
too.
the ignite.
People watching these two bruisers fight, seeing the capacity of the Yasuo 100% crit and the Jax when he misses his counter strike. Big engage onto Warwick, the charm, Malphite ult, a kill. Yasuo is strong enough to take those tower shots and give out even more damage than he's taking from a champion and a tower combined. Anivia needs enough time to stall for a full Seraphs and a full Rod of Ages.
Now looking like the engage on the top lane.
However, we just saw 2 major ultimates be used. Malphite ult is down, Swain ult is used. Does the Evelynn look for an ult opportunity?
Leap
Jax flies
striking
in,
out, counter strike up.
claims the kill, the 2 for
And bot
1.
lane is gonna get taken out.
The greed from rotation relegations bot lane, trying to give as much damage as they can. Maybe just supporting the Jax carry falls short. Jax could turn this around, but is a little bit afraid.
A very desperate chase, really just looking for anything as their bases just fall apart. Towers dropping
Warwick
left and right.
Fly into the enemy team with the Swain low on mana. But I think is just too cautious. Doesn't want to take any risks.
I don't know if they have vision to quite find out where the team is.
Warwick's blood scent can snitch them out. Of course, his pings can relay that information to everyone else. However, after just losing your bot lane and having your Anivia be on the defensive, it makes sense why he's not looking to pursue any possible.
Now, red and blue going over to the carries right now. Definitely could see something start very soon while they've got these buffs. Warwick face checking the Yasuo, flashing away with his ult.
Interesting to note Swain as a carry, seeing as he is 0-2-5, a strong contending force, but I think the carry title belongs to Evelynn and Yasuo. The Lich Bait and the Charm able to one-shot
Evelynn getting
Evelynn
destroyed by this Baron. It's a 2k health, and gonna see if there's anything they can do to stop this.
Oh my lord! Such a close Baron.
I was really expecting to see that was slain by Anivia, but Tristana not letting them have it, and Relegation just getting run down.
Game 2.
Absolutely nothing they can do with a Malph Swain ult.
Baron claim.
Yasuo just tanking the Nexus turrets. Tanking. Just does not care.
The Black Shield holding the...
Not quite punished for his extent, and they get the 1k shutdown, but I think it's a little too late.
Evelynn, the champion known for her pleasure in denial, denying the opportunity for Jax to shut down that Yasuo early enough for him to stay alive. Swain keeping the Morgana in the base, never pushing as much of a lead as you could call it onto the Swain. Tristana smashing down this Nexus, getting revenge for dying that one time in bomb, but not quite claiming the victory just yet. Sivir's still keen on looking to take this game back.
Now maybe that
Malphite
1k
still without a
will
point
come
in
into
his
play.
W. Still no point in Malphite W, so he has no armor. Evelynn opting for the burst damage by maxing her E rather than the W.
Well, sometimes when you're playing a champion a certain way, abilities are quite useless. Like with ADTF wildcards is not something you want to skill. Sivir getting cut out by the Evelynn and just gonna fall. No chance to fight
the power
back.
of that E max coming in that quick little trade. Not much needed, not even a smite necessary for that. Ultimate already down to 60 seconds. Not level 3. And is down to a 60-second ultimate in a 25-minute game.
Now Baron about half gone, so we should still see the push coming out. Unless Yasuo manages to die here.
Yasuo looking to push a big lead. He's got a lot of strength and he's not afraid to show it. Taking the engage, Malphite comes in for the support, takes down Jax, takes down Warwick, is looking with the triple kill to kill the Anivia as a level 16. Forgets he has QSS far too late. And the Comet Malphite with Ludens claiming the end of the team.
That AP finally coming into play for Malphite, getting that kill on Anivia. And
looks like this is what
that's gonna be game.
Tristana wants her vengeance, claims it, gets the ace. Such a strong game from Avalanche. Another showing of a weak early game, transitioning a bounce back into the dominant late game. Well played from both sides. A tough match. Ultimately, Avalanche claims victory.
The Yasuo was just too strong. I think a lack of respect lack of knowing his damage potential with that Conqueror, with that lead, probably led to their downfall. He was diving anyone that tried to match him. They should have known that they probably needed 2 people to take him on early.